Hello, everyone. Nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. We're on the test server to test out the new fusion, Ishiyama the Immovable. Is he any good? We're going to be taking a look here today. So he is a HP nuker. We're going to be comparing his damage in a second to Narcisse. We'll just go through his kit first and get a sense for where he's at. So his passive, interesting. Whenever an enemy resists a debuff attempt from him, the next debuff placed by him cannot be resisted. This is good because we're not going to build any accuracy on this champ. We're just going to hope that we get lucky in arena against champions that haven't built any resistance, and we'll rely on this to make our debuffs irresistible by, let's say, I don't know, champions like Ancora or Duchess, whoever, who might have built high resist. Each debuff placed by him increases his max HP by 3% up to 30. Then, onto his moves. His active, his A3 is a big single target hit, 3 turn. Attacks one enemy, ignores 25% defense, ignores 50% defense if the target's under 2 or more debuffs, puts block damage on him for 2 turns if he kills an enemy. That's kind of legit. If he kills people with this, and this should hit pretty hard, he can keep himself protected by block damage for a very large amount of the time. I think this is something that people have underrated a little bit. His A2 is his AoE attack. This attacks all enemies, has a 100% chance when booked of putting fear, not true fear, just fear, decreased crit damage, and decreased crit rate on all enemies, and it cannot be resisted by enemies who are already under 2 or more debuffs. So again, let's say you want to bring him into Chimera, because, hey, it's a damage dealer who's got fear, and decreased crit rate will help you stay alive. It's not the best kit, but it's not the worst. There's a bit of utility there. Well, I mean, if you've got Lydia in your team, great. Debuff's not going to be resisted. That works very well. Main concern with this move is it might not hit very hard, right? It doesn't have an extra hit mechanic like Narcisse does, for instance, on his A2. He ignores defense and he does an extra hit. We don't have anything like that over here. So this might not hit too hard. That's the main concern we got to test out. His A1 is a double hitter. Each hit transfers a random debuff from him to the target. If he's under any debuffs when attacked, he counterattacks with this skill. Now, that's potentially pretty cool. Potentially pumping out counterattacks very often. Yeah, so that might be great. Again, we'll test it. So here we go. How have I built him, first of all? Unfortunately, I don't have... shocked, actually. I don't have any good accessories for Stone Skin for this faction. So I actually... my intent was to rank. My intent was simply to take my Fralney's gear and put it on him, but apparently I don't have any appropriate accessories, so we've ditched the Stone Skin idea. We're going to try double reaction. We'll see if it works. He's pretty tanky, so we can hopefully take it. I've given him a 5-star blessing, so we're going to be testing him in arena and to compare him to Narcisse. We got 110 HP, 3.2k defense, 266 speed, a bit high in the crit rate, 320 crit damage, and we've not built much accuracy, 165. So yeah, we just don't have enough accuracy. Given him Hatter's Reserve, +9. Nothing too crazy there. We've given him Lightning Cage. I think that's going to be his best blessing. I'll do a full spotlight on this champion after testing him. This is just my first impressions here now. I think this should be good. Protecting your buffs in arena, particularly protecting Stone Skin. He doesn't have Stone Skin right now, obviously. But if you did have Stone Skin, it's extremely good. I think this is likely the blessing you're going to be going for. I should also say Hatter's Reserve is just to have something that's not like super OP on the test server. Like we do have I could put a +18 Stormcaller, but that's probably not very helpful for you watching, because it's probably not something you have. Certainly not something I actually have on my real account. We're just sticking with a basics one. I'd say Essence Quencher is pretty darn good for him. Potentially Wand of Submission, again, is always really good. Those are sort of your best ones. And yeah, for masteries, we've gone like this. I think fairly straightforward damage masteries. Let's give him a test out in the old Doom Tower, shall we? So we'll jump into Doom Tower, and we'll just go floor 119 of normal. But this is him versus Narcisse. So Narcisse does have a better aura, 33% versus this guy's 28. But let's put Narcisse in. Let's just jump in. It doesn't matter which aura we use. We're just comparing them to each other. So let's give it a go. Oh, there's his AoE. So we can actually get a sense. You see the HP bars. That's a good... gives you a pretty good idea. He didn't quite kill anyone. About 200k damage. If we come back... And, I mean, let's do it one more time. I didn't realize it was on auto. My bad. And we slam in. Bam, he did kill someone over there that time. And there we go. We get a sense for his AoE. He's 250k this time. So he did a bit more there. Some more Helm Smasher procs, basically. For the sake of this, let's just, I don't know, A1. See if we can get a weak hit on her with his A1. One slight downside, I guess, with this wave, we do have Rhine Beast. We're going to get a double hit on her because she's got a shield. But if we come in with Narcisse now, get a sense for his damage. Definitely higher. He's killed more people, and that one of those was probably a double hit, but not too much. So Narcisse 300,000. So yeah, Narcisse, his AoE is definitely stronger, and that's not Narcisse double hit. So that's my initial first impression is yes. The AoE, not looking great for Ishiyama. It's not a terrible AoE, but it's really nothing special. His A1, as we can see, 30k, and then it was like another 35k. The shield from Rhine Beast stopped it. We actually get another. Yeah, Narcisse is definitely hitting harder. That ignore defense is pushing him higher. Narcisse is not crazy higher, and they're very similar stats, but yeah, Narcisse does seem to be hitting a little bit harder. Right, we go in with the... Now, this is where it gets interesting. The A3, let's go in on... We've got 2 Rain Beasts, so let's hit the Rain Beasts. Bonk, 123,000 from him. What about Narcisse? What's he going to do? 29. So actually, that is actually really good. That's basically double the damage from Ishiyama. That's pretty substantial, in fact. Now, obviously, I think we overkilled him, so yeah, it only counted 82. That's a pretty big deal. That's pretty strong. I want to actually see it, because both of these also scale off of debuffs. There we go. Oh, only 78 that time. It's still more than what Narcisse was doing. Maybe Narcisse? Okay, Narcisse, he did more there, because he procced Helm Smasher both hits. So it was like 120 versus 100. Interesting, yeah. So 120 versus 100, and then he's doing about 20% more. So Narcisse missed Helm Smasher twice in the first hit. He got it, and then the second time, yeah. Okay, interesting stuff. So his non-Helm Smasher hit is almost as strong as Narcisse's actual Helm Smasher hit. Not quite. It feels like about 20% more damage. I'm going to try it with Lydia. And let's see. You guys can do the actual maths if you want to work out the exact differences. If we actually put more debuffs, we should hit more hard. More debuffs, more hard. Let's go. Here we go. 1 time speed. So 2 or more debuffs, we should ignore 50% defense. This should hit like crazy if it procs Helm Smasher. Yeah, 247,000. Narcisse will do 10%. Oh no, he does more damage for buffs. It's not affected by debuffs, actually. So he'll do more damage for buffs. He did 150,000, though, with a decreased defense weaken. So 250 versus 150. Yeah, the extra ignore defense there coming in clutch. All right, that gives us a bit of a sense. Let's just jump in. Let's do a few arena fights and see how he feels. Let's just click refresh and go. That first team looked nasty. We'll try it. So this is the team we're going to try. I'm going in with Lazarius for a bit of support. He's like going to be Arbiter style, speed aura, turn meter boosting, but he also brings some debuffs. Fabian for buff stripping, locking them out of their skills and debuffs. Sifi for a turn meter booster. We're fighting almost the exact same team, and then him for damage. So fairly generic team. Obviously, you could just use Arbiter instead if you wanted, but Lazarius has the advantage of giving us more buffs. We are slightly faster, which is good. We'll buff up again just to make sure we get a go. Ooh, reaction saves us. Wouldn't have killed us. Unfortunately, intercept stops Fabian getting an extra turn. You hate to see it. So let's actually remove that intercept. Great. Let's see his AoE. How hard will he hit AoE? And will he actually debuff anybody? Let's have a look. Calculated volley. It's decent. We killed one, but we didn't kill the other characters. But we've set them up for death. And there we go. So it worked. Not too bad. We'll try this team. Unlikely we're going to be faster than this empowered team with better blessings and a stronger aura, but we'll give it a go. We are faster. I think I do have a relic on her. Oh my god. We're winning. The power of relics. More speed than empowerment. Again, the intercept stopping Fabian getting an extra turn. Let's remove it. It's like the same fight twice in a row. Let's see his AoE. Ooh, he got polymorphed. There we go. That's a problem. So we play some debuffs. I guess Warlord Yeah, the Warlord has a 6-star polymorph. We got another 6-star polymorph there. Let's be honest, it's a pretty big problem. If he was your main nuker, this is where you would probably want to put Wand of Submission on him, obviously, to stop that stuff from happening. We can just flip over. I've got Wand of Submission. I've got one of them, and it's on the Lazarius. See if we kill them. Not quite, but... Oh, we're giving them a chance to come back in. We're giving them a chance. Not Lazarius finishes it off. So, I mean, he did a bit of damage there, but we got polymorphed. All right, let's fight this team. Let's just go in. Let's just go in on auto. Let's leave it on auto. Let's see what happens. Hopefully this time we'll actually get to see him do his A3 and smack someone really hard. Oh, I've got Lazarius set apparently to open with his other move. That's fine. One debuff out there is not going to give us the extra damage, but it'll help a little bit, I guess. Going in, I mean, he is killing them. He's in very good gear. He's doing enough to take down squishy teams. Let's see. This team's a little tankier. Zifi and her. He's going to really struggle. I think Rotus is going to ruin his life. Wrong affinity. Going to destroy and steal his max HP. Seems like a pretty bad time, if you ask me. Okay. Unfortunately, again, we've got Protected Veil. I don't think it's normally protected. Maybe she's in protection set. There we go. We've gone in with the nuke. Actually done pretty decent damage. But you can see we're really failing to place much. Oh, this should be a good test. Oh, no, he's getting extra turns. Oh, no. Oh, no. Ah, he's petrified. Okay, this is a good test. How hard will he hit Mariska? We saw that she survived the other hits. She's fairly tanky. She's got 2 debuffs right now. Let's boost up. Here we go. So, this should hit very hard. Okay, it didn't hit very hard. It hit okay. 80k damage. Not insane. Enough to kill probably most people. They're probably already lost a bit of life. But let's say if they have 100k HP, it's not going to kill them, is it? I don't think his Rotus has done any A2s, so I think we're still fairly good. We're going to give the Rotus an extra turn, but we will lock him out. But I think we're going to probably still get soloed by Rotus from the looks of it. We're just going to get A1 to death by the 6-star Rotus? Seems about right. Bit of damage to her. The A1, 25k per hit. It's not particularly crazy. Against Rotus, it's obviously being stopped by his passive. Oh, he still blocked damage, actually. I missed that. And yeah, you know what? Lightning Cage, I didn't even think about this, but with his block damage passive is definitely the way to go. Okay, we managed to kill the +2 6-star Rotus. We got there. He's doing the job. A couple more fights. We're fighting a lot of the same stuff. He seems good. Honestly, he's not bad. He is not bad. You do need sort of fairly specific teams to go with him, but he's decent. He's a decent damage dealer. Not crazy. Look at that. We didn't kill half their team, but he will be protecting himself with block damage, which is really, really good. Yeah, I think he's not bad. The decreased crit rate is a sneaky debuff. That could help you out. It could definitely help you out. Let's see. How's he going to do here? 100k damage right there. He's got the damage. That's my impression. He has the damage. He's doing just fine. Here's a big tanky team. Give it a shot. Why not? He's got enough damage to do the job. He's totally fine. So yeah, actually good arena champion. Pretty good arena champ. Vulnerable to polymorph, but his A3 is legitimately very strong. Legitimately, are we just going to all get one shot by Taras Mariska? It does look that way. Calculated volley. Will it stop the crit? Wait, he didn't. Why did he not counterattack? Maybe he missed it because of the fear? That was a bit strange. Finish them. Boom. 260k. Yeah, he missed it, but he's missing it because of the fears. That's pretty good. I mean, I tell you what, guys. You know? Uh-oh. It's not going to stop it this time. Tara's too strong. Tara's too strong. Okay, he's feared again. Excellent. There we go. And I think these debuffs on the Taras are actually genuinely quite useful. Yeah. Decreased crit rate. Fear. You can get polymorphed, but actually quite good. His A1 is definitely not too good, but protecting himself at 2 turns of block damage, he's a good arena champion. I mean, he's not Nice the Shadow Thief, but he's pretty darn solid. I think he's good. Honestly, probably one of the better arena nukers for a fusion. His main weakness, his A1 doesn't hit very hard. The constant counterattacks, even maybe a bit hard to trigger. We haven't seen his A1 counterattacks happen at all. So yeah, there you go. Thoughts on Arena? For Arena, he's actually good. Good. Yeah, he's solid. There's not that many really good HP nukers. You get Arix for free. Arix is also really good, actually. She's very underrated. You do get Empress. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather use Empress, but this guy, he's not bad. So he definitely has a place as an arena nuker. He can do the damage. He's actually got good utility. He's vulnerable to polymorph. But if you really wanted to use him, give him a Wand of Submission because he is placing debuffs. And Wand gives flat HP and reflects CC back. It's actually quite strong. And yeah, I think Lightning Cage definitely, with Stone Skin and with the block damage from his A3, could make him very annoying. And that's something to consider too, because there's likely going to be something like a Hero's Path or a Titan event or something like that that will give, probably a Hero's Path, one would assume, that will give probably a 5-star soul for this champion. So it could be very expensive to do the fusion and to get the path. But I think you walk away at the end of the day, a 5-star Lightning Cage HP nuker in lethal Stone Skin, give him a Wand of Submission, you've actually got yourself a very strong arena nuker. I think he's actually very viable. All right, guys, we are back, and bam, we just got a hit in, but it was only a little A1, doesn't matter. Welcome to Chimera. I just recorded a 5-minute intro to this part and then realized my microphone wasn't recording, so that feels bad. Okay, there's his A3. There's the sort of damage we're getting there, 300k. That was a little disappointing. We'll see if we can ramp it up over a bit more time, but we're testing Ishiyama in Chimera. Before this run, I tested Ninja against Chimera, and what I've tried to do is to get them with relatively similar gear, as similar as I can. It's hard to be exact because Ninja's got attack gear, this guy's HP gear, but we're trying to get close enough, and I think this is going to be just a rough vibe check for how good he is in Chimera anyway, because Ninja is magic, and the Chimera is force in ultimate form and magic in his specific forms. So Ninja's bad against the ultimate form, but good against the specifics, whereas Ishiyama is good against the ultimate, but bad against the specifics. So it's going to depend on the rotation and whatnot as well. So we're just looking for a bit of a vibe. Now, what does Ishiyama do that is worth considering? Well, he's doing a few different things, and let's take a look at it in a second. 130k per hit on his A1. So specifically, when it comes into this fight, he does ignore 50% defense when a target's under 2 debuffs on a 3-turn cooldown. Oh, I should also mention, by the way, to match the Ninja gear, I've switched him. He's now in 6 pieces of Merciless. So he's going to ignore 50%. We add on 35% from Merciless, and hey, that's not bad. He's up to 85% defense ignore, and you could scale this damage up even more if you want it with a Cat's Gaze or something. I don't have the relics on the test server, so we're just using the Hatter's Reserve on him as a pure stat stick. It's not giving us any benefits, just because I think Ninja's gear is a little bit better, just for the extra 3k HP. I think a really big thing here is his A2. So against most of the forms, decreased crit rate, crit damage, the decreased crit rate is actually pretty nice. For example, the boss has 15% baseline chance to crit. Against Elva, because she's a negative affinity, he gets an extra 15. He has 30% crit chance. We can reduce that to 0. Even against, let's say, Mikage, who is the same affinity, when you do start completing trials, you do start giving the boss some crit rate. Now, it's quite unlikely you're doing 16 to 18 trials, and if you are, it's quite unlikely you'd be using Ishiyama, I'll be honest. But when you do 7 to 9, which is more reachable, he does get some extra crit rate, so the decreased crit rate's kind of helpful there, just against your neutral affinity characters to help them just not be crit. I think the Lion form has 50% crit. Let's see his A2 here. Bam, it's doing a bit of damage. Cool, we can leave it go. But that's the gist. Now, the bigger thing, his A2 does place Fear on a 3-turn cooldown, and that's really good for the Ram form. We're obviously using Lydia still in this team, but potentially we have to do damage while the boss is under Fear. Potentially, it would let us go in and be able to do that trial where we need to do damage while the boss is feared without needing Lydia. And that could open us up to running like a Ramantu or a Riho or somebody else if you don't have anyone with Fear. And yeah, we'll sort of see how it goes. Let's see us switching into the Ram form, and let's see how that's going to look. My prediction for this, by the way, is I'll show you the Ninja damage stats after. I do suspect that Ninja will outdamage him because Ninja gets up to 100% bonus attack. Ishiyama, you can see his damage is going up. He's getting up to 30% bonus HP. So he's not bad by any means, shape, or form. Actually, we should save our cooldowns now at this point, just to make sure we've got everything available for the Ram form. Yeah, like here we'll save his A2 for when we go with the Ram form. I'm curious if he'll die as well. That's another thing. That is another thing. But we'll find out. But yeah, but I think Ishiyama is going to be a decent option, but I do suspect I'd be shocked if he beats Ninja in terms of damage. That just would be crazy. And Ninja brings the burn for some trials, which is nice too. There we go. She's getting smacked around. I feel like the animation went a bit weird, but that's okay. Let's see if we can get... Oh, excellent. We actually landed the attack and reflected it back. That's very helpful. And then, this is a bit unlucky because we do want to do debuffs. Well, we're under increased accuracy. I'm going to go straight in with the fear, though, and see if we can land that fear. We weak hit, unfortunate. So we didn't land it there. That's a problem with him, unfortunately, for this rotation. And there's literally nothing I can do about it. So, c'est la vie. I will... Ooh, do we go in? Just for the sake of landing as many debuffs as possible, I'm going to go in with this just to try to complete the trial, just so we place more debuffs. Okay, great. Hopefully he doesn't weak hit. Okay, he didn't, so we got the trial done. That's nice. That's going to give us extra damage and make this a bit more chill, which is good. And yeah, so there we go. I mean, we might as well go in with this A3. Oh, he's weak hit again, but he's not taking any damage, which is actually kind of good. He's not taking any real damage from this. Yeah, which we can live with. Here, you know what? I'll go in with a decreased defense. Just get that on. I think we're all going to be stunned. Yeah, he doesn't have his move. I want to see him not weak hit. Okay. Wow, look at that. He's got so much HP. Yeah, he actually didn't really take any damage. Oh, she doesn't have her A2. Well, that's my fault for misplaying it a little bit. Well, we can fear the boss now with an ally attack on Lydia. That will help a little bit. Gives us a small chance that the boss will miss his turn, so that's nice. Yeah, look at that. He's actually not dying. His damage is low enough, funny enough, and because he's got so much health, let's see if he can land. Oh, look at that. He just hit the boss for 260k. He tanked it like a freaking champ, man. That is champ level tanking right there. I tell you what, that's actually pretty good. Okay, she's getting nuked a bit. A little bit frustrating, but not the end of the world. The boss is still feared. Why is he still feared? Did we fear him for 2 turns or something? I'm not sure what happened right there. You know, Lydia, sure, give us this. Just get the decreased defense back on. Why not? Per meter boost us. See if we can land... oh, sorry, we should have gone for the decreased speed. I wasn't paying attention. Let's see. Surely he kills himself now. No, again, he weak hit, but yeah. He's just landing weak hits, which is unfortunate. I think he probably would die. Yeah, he would die if he did strong hits. But he's putting up a good front. he's making an effort, I'll tell you that. He is definitely making an effort to tank through this boss. He might actually die here from the AoE. No, he didn't. He tanked it as well. You know... Will he die from the ally attack? Probably. Yeah, he did. But hey, he did some damage, though. And we got through the trials. I have to say, that's, honestly... Oh, revive him. He's at the boss. It's honestly a reasonable enough performance. I have to say, it is. Sure, let's go in for another ally attack. He can take it. The tankiness, the amount of HP, compared to Ninja... Wait, did Mikage die? Mikage died. Oh, that's not good. Whoops. Poor old Mikage can't tank it, though. She's dying. But yeah, oh no, he died as well. It's a tragedy. But, I mean, we make good progress on the trials. It's, you know, that's fine. That's fine. Hopefully we can recover and not die horribly. I think we should be okay. We'll just lose a little bit of damage here. But it's fine. So yeah, he's actually really solid for the Ram form. Because he's a HP damage dealer, he can actually survive a few hits. Ooh, maybe Mikage's missing here. She's really getting beaten up a lot. I don't think missing a relic on the test server should make that much difference. I don't know. Anyway, it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, I feel like he's putting in a decent performance, and the decreased crit rate is sort of useful as well. I've no idea where his damage is at, but yeah, okay. We'll come back when we come to the next form. We'll check that out. Okay, so here we are. We are at the Lion form. Now, again, unfortunately, he is the wrong affinity. So he's not going to be bringing us anything that will particularly help do any of these trials, I don't believe. No, he's not going to help us with the trials at all. However, I mean, he's good for the ally attacks with Mikage. That's a nice little combo. Again, same as all the other Shadowkin, though. But honestly, this decreased crit rate is somewhat useful. If you are struggling to stay alive against the Lion does have a high crit chance. And that's possibly part of why you might be dying sometimes, is that he gets a few big crits in a row and, yeah, he can wipe out your team. So that's usually not a problem at all for my team. Like, I'm usually totally fine. In fact, I'm basically always totally fine. But for a progressing player, it's something that's worth knowing. This boss in this form does have higher crit rate. And yeah, decreased crit rate, even the decreased crit damage will help you to survive a bit. So there is some value there. Obviously, for, again, this, he's the wrong affinity, so his damage is going to be lower. You get a vibe for how hard he's roughly hitting as well, again, without a useful relic. About 300k. I think if you gave him a Cat's Gaze, his damage would be significantly higher. Or if you gave him a Rethi Coronet, he'd do 30% more damage, straightforward enough. If you gave him Cat's Gaze, and that's a budget option, gave him Cat's Gaze, it would be probably a good chunk higher than that. It's hard to say. 500k right there in his A3. Yeah, there's a sense for his damage. That's how he's doing there. Let's come back for Mr. Viper. Okay, so we're coming into the Viper form. Usually, by the way, what I do with this team is on turn 24, so after Ultimate form does his buff removal, I turn it off auto, and then I don't put up any more buffs for the rest of turn 24 or 25, and you lose out on some damage, but it just means that we come in and it makes the Viper like a 100% form, which I think is very helpful. Let's actually go in and see if we can land his debuffs. We got one, not the worst. I think that was normal accuracy, and then the other one was probably resisted because of lack of resistance or whatever. Let's see if we can get lucky. There we go, great. So, against the Viper, and that's unlucky right there. So here's an interesting thing. Against the Viper, here's something cool. This is a very difficult trial to do, and as you can see on Nightmare difficulty, this is giving you mythical stuff. Something that's worth considering, for sure, with Tetsuya. He brings you 2 very unusual debuffs. There are relatively few champions that have decreased crit damage and decreased crit rate. It is not common. So, for the purposes of getting I actually counted it up on the previous forms, and yes, including all of our debuffs, we will have Leech, decreased speed, decreased attack from Necmo. We would have decreased defense, weaken, block buffs, poison sensitivity, and brimstone from Lydia, then decreased crit rate, decreased crit damage from him. We can actually get 10 debuffs even for Ultra Nightmare. We only need 9 for this, but he gives us enough debuffs, whereas Ninja doesn't. Ninja is 1 short, I believe. He gives us enough, to actually do that trial, which is pretty cool. So he does open up. He doesn't, directly open it up, but he gives you 2 debuffs that are quite unusual to help you reach this. And also, it's worth mentioning for the Ram form, replacing 6 unique debuffs on the Chimera. For Ram form, he brings Fear, decreased crit rate, decreased crit damage. He brings 3 of those, so he can really help you to do it very quickly. As we can see here, I wonder if we could... can we even do that? Really awkward to try make this happen. We'll try make it happen. Can we do it? Oh, never mind. Because we've lost Ninja's burn, we actually can't do the normal trial. So you'd have to have burn somewhere else. But perhaps like a Riho or something. I don't know. You could maybe, then you have you got to get block active skill somewhere else. So it's clunky for sure. He's got mild potential there, though. Yeah, he's got some decent potential. And again, against this form, he's going to reduce the damage you take, which is fine. He's going to do decent damage, which is fine. And let's come up. I did the full 30 turns with the Ninja team. Let's see how he comes out at the end, and we'll compare the damage and get a vibe for it. But yeah, there you go. He's helping us out with some trials. He's actually pretty decent with trials. I think particularly something that is clear to me after testing him is he is very, very tanky against the Ram form. Just the size of his HP pool and the fact that he straight up does not do as much damage as Ninja makes him a lot more survivable. It's sort of the Toshiro effect. If you've run Toshiro versus running Ninja, again, it's also very obvious. Toshiro is much more survivable. Even when you go against the Ultimate form, Ninja can get one-shot by the Ultimate form fairly easily, whereas our boy over here, he's never going to get one-shot unless he's got like no health remaining, because he is just too tanky. So we'll see where we're going to end up. Looks like we're going to not hit 50k against this. So if we extrapolate, obviously his damage is going to be a little bit higher towards the end, I suppose. But we'd be probably hitting a bit above 100k. So really not crazy. I'm bearing in mind we don't have relics, but really not crazy damage. 48 million, excuse me, what we hit. So you're not doing crazy damage by any means, shape, or form. There we go. We can see Ishiyama did 24 million. The rest of that. How does that compare? Well, let me bring it up for you right here. Bam. Ninja, significantly more. 73 million for the team with Ninja. We can see Ninja himself did 50. Again, we compare that to Ishiyama, 24. So what you're losing a substantial amount of damage compared to a Ninja or any other similarly strong damage dealers. Perhaps that might be a little bit different. Perhaps, again, some of the gear stuff is a bit off. And again, the affinities of the boss are all very different. But still, you're definitely losing a lot of damage. Now, what is interesting, if we jump to the stages tool, just to show you, rotation 1 of the Chimera is Void and Force. So on this rotation, he definitely would have a bit of something to say to Ninja, because Ninja's got his bad affinity against half of the boss. But Ishiyama isn't. So there he would have more value. The damage would get closer. On top of that, he's helping you complete a few different trials, which is decent. But most importantly, he's super tanky. He's very survivable. And yeah, it's sort of what you would expect. He ended up being kind of more comfortable to play than I thought. He's definitely much less volatile than Ninja. It's way easier to keep the dude alive, and he helps your team stay alive a bit as well. But you're losing a lot of damage. That being said, for players that don't have top-tier damage dealers for Chimera, he does have some value. I think for newer players, he'd have some value there. So yeah, in summary, what are my thoughts on Mr. not Tetsuya, Mr. Ishiyama? I pulled Tetsuya recently. What are my thoughts on Mr. Ishiyama the Immovable? Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I think he's actually pretty good. I think he's decent. I don't think he's top tier, but I think he's good. I think for newer to mid-game, even late-game players, he's a solid arena champion. He's got good damage, and he's got decent utility, and he's tanky. He's good. He's not the best of the best, but he's solid. I'll be giving him like an A+ or something like that for arena. A to A+. I found he's quite comfy. And yeah, he did the job. For Chimera, B+, maybe an A- or something. He's helping you do trials, which is really nice. He's really easy to keep alive. I think he's a super beginner-friendly champion for Chimera. He has a bit of a combo with Mikage, but his A1's not that strong. I should also mention he could, in theory, throw poisons and stuff back on the Viper. You could maybe play around that. Seems a bit awkward, honestly. We weren't ever really using this because most teams are bringing block debuffs. But if you don't have block debuffs, he is going to counterattack a lot. Again, that's going to be pretty good against some of those Chimera forms too. So that would help you as well if your team is not having the coverage I have in block debuffs and cleansing and stuff. So there is that. I don't think he needs Mikage either because his A1's not crazy strong. It's fine, but really nowhere near essential. So yeah, I wouldn't be too stressed about running him with Mikage, to be honest. Yeah, so there you go. Didn't test him in Hydra or Demon Lord, but you'd imagine his performance be something similar as well. An okay damage dealer, but nothing crazy, but very survivable, and some nice debuffs. Helps you with some trials. Yeah, bam. There you go. Think he's decent. The final thing to mention is obviously Faction Wars Hard will be coming at some point in the near future, one assumes. I think he's going to be very good for that. Big nuke, really big nuke, that gives him block damage, so he's going to be super survivable. And he's got AoE Fear, and the decreased crit rate could be important. We don't know how much crit rate these enemies are going to have. They could potentially be giving these waves, 100% crit rate. And this could really help you survive against some of the waves or bosses, potentially. Definitely AoE Fear on a 3-turn is good for a faction, which is, let's be honest, Shadowkin, pretty squishy and vulnerable. He does help you a bit there, so I think he could be kind of helpful. Their damage dealers are usually very squishy. So yeah, if you don't have Harima and stuff like that, he could be great. And yeah, that's my thoughts on him. I'm sort of half considering going for his soul now at this point, just for rotation 1 of Chimera. Maybe I do use him instead of Ninja. Probably not, to be honest. But, maybe. I definitely think he could be helpful for me for Faction Wars. I'm definitely considering him. I don't think he's a must-pull for my account. but he's decent. I think I've got a lot of champions fulfilling similar things. However, I could easily see a new player, especially because he's only a champion fragment fusion, the easiest ones to do. I could easily see a newer player or even a mid-game player, even potentially someone later in the game as well, actually finding him to be very helpful to them and saying, you know, I'd actually would use him in arena, and maybe I'd use him for some. I definitely use him for faction wars hard. I'd actually use him for some cursed city stages. I'd use him for some sort of stuff like that. Yeah, like I'm definitely grabbing him myself, and I'll think about the soul. Maybe, maybe not. But that is Ishiyama the Immovable. I think better than I expected going into it. Yeah, he's decent, not OP, not crazy, but he's good. He's solid, solid damage. And yeah, there you go. Everything you need to know. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully it was helpful, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.